and online. Thank you for staying with us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Sky 5 hovered over the rescue efforts most of the day as our crews kept us up to date on what was happening, and they investigated the company's record. This unfolded at a gas station under construction at the intersection of T.W. Alexander and Glenwood Avenue, right there where Raleigh and Durham meet on Highway 70. Adam Owens was our first reporter on the scene. He starts our team coverage tonight. Adam?
Deborah, the search is on for answers in how this collapse happened in the first place. Rescuers recovered the last worker from that trench a little more than an hour ago. He did not survive, and those rescuers tell me it was not easy getting to that worker. He was completely covered by dirt in the hole behind me. The rescue attempt took hours. Clearly, survival was not likely for that worker, but 3 other workers did make it out. One was able to walk away on his own. 2 others were buried to their waist and chest and needed help to be freed. The workers appeared to be installing gas pumps at a shopping center near Briar Creek. First responders say they had to search while making sure their own people, those rescuers, were safe from another collapse. Watching them work, I can tell you they used every tool they had to get down there.
We had to shore the trench, and then various tools from ladders to stoke baskets to shovels to a vacuum truck. It's a lot of resources that go into conducting a rescue like this, and it's a lot of training, and it's a lot of hard work.
And we saw a lot of that in action. I am sure our viewers have the same questions that we have, how something like this could happen, whether or not safeguards that were put in place so a collapse like this could not happen. Investigators are now working to get some of those answers. Our Ken Smith was also out here on the scene while that rescue was underway and talked to people in the area. Ken.
Adam, when the police tape came down a short time ago, we were able to get closer to this accident scene here. Take a look at what we found. Someone left a bouquet of flowers, clearly in honor of the worker who died here. Another sign that so many people are heartbroken about what happened. You know, some people watched the frantic rescue efforts from nearby restaurants. Many of them were having lunch at the time. Others walked right up to the edge of the scene, deeply concerned for the workers. When people saw the heavy emergency presence, they told me they knew something was wrong. We talked with one onlooker who owns a construction company not linked to this project. He says he understands that is associated with construction sites.
The jobs we are on, it's always possible that an industrial accident can happen, and you just train and teach your employees to don't take unnecessary risk. Work safe, slow, steady, and pray for the best.
A lot of prayers going up tonight for everyone affected by this deadly trench collapse in this shopping center near the Briar Creek area. And of course, tonight, that trench filled in tonight. And in talking with so many people, some of whom stayed around here for hours, they tell me tonight this is a scene that they will not soon forget. This scene will stay with them for a while, especially knowing that a construction worker lost his life here today. Deborah.
Such a sad day. Ken Smith and Adam Owens with live team coverage from the scene of the collapse. Thank you.
Our WRAL Investigates unit spent the day digging through the company's work history and past violations and found a very similar situation in the company's past. WRAL's Cullen Browder joining us live in Durham now to explain what he learned. Cullen?
Well, David, the North Carolina Department of Labor, along with OSHA, will be conducting this investigation. So far, Labor is not yet confirming exactly which companies they're going to be looking at, but we do know that D.R. Mosley Construction Group out of Charlotte had trucks and prominent signage on the site. The company specializes in building gas stations, and on its website confirms more than 2,000 successful projects with an emphasis on quality, low-risk construction. We reached out to Mosley today. A spokesman had no comment. Now, WRAL Investigates looked into Mosley's OSHA safety record. We found about a year ago the company received an initial $3,700 fine for aerial lift and fall protection violations at a project in Virginia. That fine was lowered to $2,600. In 2015, during construction of a gas station on Guess Road in Durham, the company was fined $600 for another fall protection violation. After a trench collapse, labor investigators look for key factors regarding protection of workers. Was there proper slope or a trench box, which is basically a cage around those workers? Is the soil type safe for trenching, especially after rain? Was a qualified person supervising the digging? Also, was soil pushed at least 2 feet away from the edge of the trench? Again, labor not yet confirming the contractor and subcontractors they're focusing on. So, David, still plenty of questions.
And this will not be a quick investigation, more than likely. Cullen Browder live at the Department of Labor. Cullen, thank you.
Say goodbye to this unseasonably warm weather. Winter is coming back tomorrow. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a timeline for when the temperatures drop. Kat?
Well, tomorrow's temperature drop is not going to be all that fast. So we do have a nice slow transition from the spring-like weather we've had to winter, but that cold air off to our northwest is coming, and it's all coming in behind this cold front. The cold front is going to pass tomorrow morning, and once it passes, the dry air moves in very fast, and the cooler temperatures slowly move into the area throughout the day. Still a 20% chance of a sprinkle this evening and tonight, but we are finally dry behind this front tomorrow. And here's a look at our unusual temperature trend for tomorrow. We wake up to temperatures in the 60s. By the afternoon, temperatures actually fall into the 50s, and then by tomorrow night we are back into the 40s and a freeze by Friday morning. We're going to talk more about the timeline for a hard freeze once again coming up in the next 15 minutes.
Thanks, Kat.
Tonight we're hearing from the parents of a 9-month-old baby whose death is the focus of a police investigation. Paramedics found the child unresponsive following a 911 call from a home in Youngsville. WRAL's Brian Mims is live at the Youngsville Police Department with what the parents had to say. Brian, very troubling story.
No doubt about it. Very heart-wrenching. And both parents say they're at a loss to explain what happened because their baby never had any medical problems before. A police incident report says the child suffered from cardiac arrest. But police, for now, are saying very little until they get the autopsy report and the toxicology tests.
She was perfectly healthy. That's what I'm not understanding.
Brittany Franklin had gone to work Sunday afternoon, leaving 9-month-old Brianna, Bree, she calls her, with her dad. They live in this house on East Main Street in Youngsville. After she came home from work, the father, Sean Branch, says he went in to check on Bree before the couple went to bed. The baby wasn't breathing.
What did Bree look like? She was she had some color, but she was fading out. And when I found her, she just had throw up in her mouth. When I picked her up, I turned her over to get the throw up out and then started CPR.
The mom called 911 and says she too tried CPR.
Her father brought her to me, and I tried to save her until they got here, and then I followed them to the hospital, and that's where they told me that she didn't make it.
She says Branch was also watching Bree's 2-year-old sister Bella, and that Franklin's mom and younger brothers were home at the time.
She was perfectly healthy, and she was perfectly fine when I left for work that morning. And I didn't even get to say goodbye.
What's going through your mind during all of this? I'm just trying to save my baby's life. I don't want to lose my child.
He told me Bree meant everything to him, that she was his best friend. And you loved her.
I loved her with everything in me and more. I would have done anything for her. If I had to give her my heart, I would have done it.
Youngsville Police Chief Greg Whitley told me preliminary autopsy results should come in by Friday. He doesn't expect any updates until then. In a written statement, he said the loss of life, of any life, let alone one so new to this world, is tragic. He just urges the public to be patient while police investigate in the coming days. David.
Well, hopefully we may have some indication as early as Friday. Brian Mims live in Youngsville. Thank you.
New at 6, we are hearing from a hit-and-run suspect caught on video being punched and kneed by a Raleigh police officer during a traffic stop. The video has gone viral this afternoon with thousands of retweets, and you may find it disturbing to watch, so you have a moment before we show it to you. The man in the video is now charged with DWI and resisting arrest, among other charges. He spoke with WRAL's Julian Grace a short time ago. Julian?
That's right, Deborah. We spoke to Brayley Batista Concepcion, and he is facing a slew of charges, as you just mentioned. But when we met up with him earlier today, he was at the tow yard checking on the status of his vehicle. Here is video from that interview, and in that interview, he showed us injuries to his face and also to his arms. Now, he didn't go into detail on what led up to the stop. In the video, though, you can see the officer trying to get Concepcion out of the car. When he doesn't get out, the officer starts kneeing and punching him. According to the police report, this started on Navajo Drive, where police say Concepcion drove while impaired. Investigators connected him to 3 hit-and-runs and say he resisted arrest after being pulled over by officers. Now, when we asked Concepcion about the accusations, he says the details are a little blurry.
From what I remember was I was telling the cop to stop. He brought me out, beating on me, grabbing, choking me by my neck. And then I blacked out and went to the hospital and stuff.
On your belly! Concepcion would not say much more about the encounter. He did say that his attorney is planning to have some type of news conference possibly tomorrow evening or tomorrow morning. We are still working to get more details about that. As far as the Raleigh Police Department is concerned, we did reach out to the department about the use of force, and we are told that it is standard procedure to review all use of force situations. Tonight at 10 and 11, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the policies for use of force here in Raleigh with the Raleigh Police Department and how it matches up to that video that you're seeing right there. Deborah?
Thank you, Julian. Yes, as a matter of fact, just within the last 5 minutes or so, we received this longer statement from Raleigh Police. It details the 3 collisions that Julian was just talking about. That's the suspect was connected to these hit and runs. It also says the officers were wearing body cameras and they had dash cameras as well. RPD will petition a judge to allow them to release this information. They also said this is under investigation, as is all use of force, and the police department is reviewing this matter, and they're also asking if anyone saw anything, has any more additional information, please call 911 to get to the bottom of what happened here.
And still to come tonight at 6, we're going to lighten the mood after the break with news you'll want to hear, because exhaustion can be seen as a badge of honor.
The medical world has, for the longest time, just put sleep in this category of we don't talk about it.
A mother outside Charlotte decided to change that, and coming up, she shares what she believes is key to a good night's sleep.
After dozens